What if I told you that you could run faster without training more? Sounds impossible, right? But the worst part is that there's a mistake destroying your stride, and you haven't even noticed it. Year after year, thousands of runners push themselves to improve their times. They run more miles, train harder, and yet they remain stuck. Why? Because they're making a mistake that slows them down with every step. A mistake that elite runners avoid at all costs. If you keep running like this, it doesn't matter how much you train. It doesn't matter how many intervals you do. You will never reach your true potential. But here's the best part. This mistake has a solution, and all you need is a small adjustment. Today, you'll discover how the best runners in the world achieve an efficient stride without using more energy, without suffering more, and without making drastic changes to their training. If you apply this, you'll feel the difference in just a few days. Your running will be smoother, lighter, and faster. Pay attention because what you're about to learn could completely change the way you run. You've probably experienced this before. You follow training plans, add more miles, follow every piece of advice you can find. But when you run, something feels off. Your legs feel heavier than usual. Every stride feels awkward, as if you're fighting against the ground instead of gliding over it. The worst part? There are runners who train less than you, yet they run faster. How is that possible? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not making the most of your stride. In fact, you're ruining it without even realizing it. And there are 3 mistakes that most runners make unknowingly. First mistake, landing with your foot too far forward. Do you think lengthening your stride will make you run faster? Actually, it does the opposite. When your foot lands too far ahead, your body comes to a stop with every step. It's like pressing the brakes over and over again without realizing it. Elite runners don't run this way. They do the opposite. They land right under their center of gravity. That way, instead of losing energy with every step, they use it to propel themselves forward. Second mistake, not activating your hips. If your hips are stiff and don't move properly, your stride becomes short and inefficient. The power your muscles should be using to push you forward is lost, and you end up running with more effort than necessary. Look at elite runners. Their hips are always active. They don't bounce excessively. They don't run seated, and they don't let their bodies collapse with each step. They maintain a tall, firm posture, allowing them to move with less effort and greater speed. Third mistake, not using the body's elastic energy. Every time you take a step, your muscles and tendons store energy, like a stretched spring that releases. If you use this energy correctly, each stride becomes more efficient. But if you run with stiff muscles or improper technique, you waste this natural rebound and tire yourself out much more. The fastest runners in the world seem to float over the ground because they've learned to harness this natural rebound. While you're expending energy with every step, they're recycling it to move faster without extra effort. Now that you know what you're doing wrong, it's time to learn how to fix it. Because the difference between a slow runner and a fast one isn't the number of miles they train. It's how they use their body in each stride. If you observe elite runners, you'll notice something surprising. They're not just fast, they seem to run effortlessly. While others struggle against the ground, they glide. While some runners feel heavier with each step, they move with incredible lightness. And it's not just genetics. It's not because they have longer legs or were born with a special gift. It's because they know how to use their bodies perfectly in every stride. The key lies in 3 principles: posture, ground contact, and elastic energy use. First principle, tall posture and active hips. Look at any elite runner and focus on their posture. They don't run hunched over. They don't collapse with every step. They're always upright. They're always aligned. They're always ready to propel themselves forward. This is not a coincidence. Most amateur runners run seated, with their hips low and their upper body slightly leaning back. The problem? This posture robs them of efficiency. When you run with your hips engaged and aligned, your entire body works in one direction, forward. You don't waste energy on unnecessary movements. You don't lose momentum, and you achieve a more efficient stride. Try this right now. Stand up and relax your hips. Now, push them slightly forward and feel the difference. With a simple correction in your posture, your body is already in a better position to run faster with less effort. Second principle, brief contact with the ground. This is one of the biggest differences between an amateur and an elite runner. The fastest runners in the world spend very little time touching the ground. Think about this. When a sprinter runs, their foot barely touches the ground before pushing off again. But even in marathons, elite runners apply the same concept. Less time on the ground equals more speed. When you stay on the ground too long, the force that should be propelling you forward dissipates. It's like running on sand instead of a firm track. Watch the fastest runners in the world. Every step is a quick, explosive contact. They don't stomp on the ground. They use it as a springboard to propel themselves. How do you achieve this? Landing with your foot directly under your center of gravity. Keeping your hips high so your stride is more reactive. Avoiding heel striking and making better use of the forefoot. If you reduce the time you spend on the ground, you will automatically run faster without increasing your effort. Third principle, using the body's elastic energy. This is the big secret that elite runners master to perfection. When you run, your muscles and tendons act like springs. Every time you take a step, your body stores energy, and if you use it well, you can recycle it for the next step. Think of a kangaroo. It doesn't need to exert effort on every jump because its body is designed to bounce naturally. Elite runners do the same. Instead of wasting energy with a stiff, heavy stride, they let their bodies take advantage of this natural rebound. How do you activate this elastic energy? 1. With correct posture. If you run hunched over, you won't be able to benefit from this effect. 2. Maintaining a good stride frequency, more steps, less ground contact time. 3. Practicing specific exercises like plyometric jumps to train your body to use its natural rebound. When you master this, your stride completely transforms. Every step feels lighter, smoother, and faster. Now you know the secrets that elite runners apply to every stride. But knowing this is not enough. If you want to see real results, you have to apply it. You don't need to train more or do endless sessions. You just need to incorporate these 4 exercises, and your stride will change completely. Are you ready? Let's get to them. Exercise 1. Reactive jumps. Activate your body's natural spring. This is one of the best-kept secrets of the fastest runners in the world. They don't just train by running. They train how they hit the ground. If you want your stride to be more reactive and spend less time on the ground, you need to teach your body how to use its natural rebound. How to do it? Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart. Start making small jumps in place without bending your knees too much. Imagine the ground is hot, and you need to bounce quickly. Keep your hips high and your torso aligned. Why does it work? Because it teaches you to minimize ground contact time, just like elite runners. If you do this before running, your body will learn to take better advantage of elastic energy in each stride. Exercise 2. Explosive skipping. Improve your stride frequency and control. Skipping is not just about lifting your knees randomly. If done correctly, it's a powerful tool to improve your technique and make your stride more efficient. How to do it? Run in place, lifting your knees quickly. Keep your chest up and your gaze forward. Make sure your feet touch the ground quickly and reactively. Key. Avoid heavy foot strikes. Imagine tapping the ground lightly. Why does it work? Because it improves your stride frequency and reinforces the correct movement pattern. If you struggle to run smoothly, it's because your body isn't used to a fast, light stride. This exercise fixes that. Exercise 3. Barefoot running on grass. Correct your natural foot strike. Did you know that when you run barefoot, your body automatically adjusts its technique? One of the most common mistakes runners make is landing with their foot too far forward or striking with their heel. But when you run without shoes, your body naturally corrects this problem. How to do it? Find a safe surface, like grass or firm sand. Run barefoot for 30 seconds at a moderate pace. Focus on how your body automatically adjusts your foot strike. Key. Avoid doing this on asphalt or hard surfaces to prevent discomfort. Why does it work? Because it forces you to use a more efficient foot strike, landing on the midfoot instead of the heel. If you repeat this every week, you'll notice improvements in your technique even when wearing shoes. Exercise 4. Hip mobility. Unlock your hidden power. The hips are the powerhouse of runners. If they are locked, your stride will be shorter and less efficient. Many runners focus on training their legs, but forget that stiff hips limit their entire movement. How to do it? Get into a lunge position, with one foot forward and the other behind. Gently push your hips forward until you feel a stretch. Hold the position for 20 seconds, then switch legs. Key: don't arch your back, just move your hips. Why does it work? Because having more mobile hips allows you to extend your stride naturally, helping you run faster with less effort. Put it into practice and feel the difference. If you incorporate these exercises into your routine, you'll start noticing changes in just a few days. Your stride will feel lighter. Your foot strike will become more reactive. Your speed will increase without extra effort. It's not about running more, it's about running better. Now that you have the tools to improve your stride, there's only one thing left. Put them into practice. Here's the challenge. For the next 7 days, add these exercises to your routine and see the results for yourself. You don't need to train more or run extra miles. Just do these 4 exercises before your training sessions. Days 1 to 3, do all 4 exercises for 5 minutes before running. Days 4 to 6, increase intensity, especially in reactive jumps and skipping. Day 7, run while focusing on your new stride. If you do it right, you'll notice how your running feels smoother, lighter, and faster. Now tell me, do you accept the challenge? Let me know in the comments. I want to see how many of you are willing to try it and what results you get. And if you want to keep improving, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.